Hello everyone, I'm George from Ireland. I'm on St James's Square in London. Behind me you can see Chatham House, best known for the Royal Institute of International Affairs. I hope I got its name right, as in discussing these things. Chatham House rules, as in you're not to attribute what people have said to them when you talk about it elsewhere. You can be like anonymous. Anyway, it's surely unique as being the only house in London which 3 Prime Ministers have lived, not all at the same time, besides of course 10 Downing Street being the official residence of the First Lord of the Treasury. But William Ewart Gladstone lived here. Well, first of all, the Earl of Chatham lived here, who's better known as Pitt the Elder, and then the Earl of Derby lived here, Gladstone last of all. But it's the 14th Earl of Derby whom I propose to talk about. He's honoured with a statue on Parliament Square. I believe I've talked about him before. He's not that well known. He served thrice as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, but very briefly each time. His longest period as Prime Minister was about 1 year and 4 months. So he led the Conservative Party for 22 years. Nobody's ever led it for anything like that long before or since. Or Thatcher did for, say, 15 years. But back to him. He was born and died in Knowsley Hall. That was the family seat in Lancashire. So Stanley's been prominent in the English Midlands for centuries, although Lancashire is obviously northwest England, not really the Midlands. You might know about the Battle of Bosworth Field on the 22nd of August 1485, when the Stanleys crucially seemed neutral at first and then took the side of Henry VII, sealing victory for him. But they gained preferment after that, so the fact that he's 14th Earl, as in so many other people had held the title Earl before him, shows how long the dynasty had been prominent for. So he went to Eton, which was virtually obligatory for people of that social class, and then to Oxford. And which college did he go to? He went to Christ Church, which seems to mass produce Prime Ministers. There's a period 1880 to 1902 when 4 Prime Ministers in a row went to Eton, and all of them went to Oxford. And which college did they go to? All of them went to Christ Church. But that's a bit before his time. So he's born right at the end of the 19th century, so the 18th century. I don't remember the actual year, in fact. He was originally a Whig, elected for a rotten borough of Stockbridge, as in hardly anybody lived there, so largely controlled by the local landowner. But he was quite independent-minded for a Whig. He thought the Church of Ireland needed to be reformed, because the Church of Ireland was the church for about 12% of the Irish population, most of us being Catholics, and there were also Protestants outside the Church of Ireland, in Ireland, such as Baptists, Methodists, Presbyterians and so forth. So he thought that this situation was untenable, not to disestablish the Church of Ireland, but there needed to be some sort of rationalisation, because some Whigs felt this was a betrayal of the Protestant cause. He lost his seat partly in consequence of that. His patron withdrawing the seat, saying, well, I'm no longer going to bamboozle my tenants to vote for you, or threaten my employees if they don't vote for you, things like that. That's the way it worked in those days. They would be very open about this, buying and selling constituencies. So in the 1830s he led the Derby Dilly. He was still Lord Stanley at that stage. He hadn't inherited the title Earl of Derby yet. But the Derby Dilly is when he and some of his supporters, that faction, they